information tonight about one of the tri-state's most notorious murderers. John Matthew Stevenson has died in prison. According to his obituary, he died of a heart attack while playing basketball. Now, this is a case that shocked many in the tri-state over 25 years ago.
Of course, Haley Kirby joins us now. Now, Haley, I know you've met with those who were first connected with the case when it happened. What have you learned today?
Well, you know, Rob, Jamie, in 1997, John Stevenson, he was convicted in 3 murders. It's a 28-year-old case, the longest and most expensive the state had ever seen, and it's finally come to a close. A calm scene at the Warrick County courthouse, a very different story nearly 28 years ago.
You just can't go around taking out 3 lives in a brutal crime more than being shot. It was brutal. We want the death penalty.
In March of 1996, Jay and Kathy Tyler and their friend Brandy Souther were shot and stabbed at an intersection in Warrick County. ISP Sergeant at the time and lead investigator Marvin Heilman recalled the brutal scene.
All 3 of these victims were shot with a high-powered rifle, and all 3, in my memory, had stab wounds and or their throats cut. It was a very violent crime and an unusual crime for our area, the tri-state.
There was only one suspect, quickly identified as John Matthew Stevenson. What followed, the state's longest and most expensive trial.
I remember, I think we took depositions of, I want to say 165 people, and I think all of them testified.
Stevenson's attorney, Anthony Long, says it took 2 months for a jury to be chosen one by one, then 140 days of trial, eventually ending in a conviction.
Paid good close attention throughout the course of the trial, and I thought that the quickness of the verdict was a sign of that.
I'm just stunned, as is he.
It was a circumstantial evidence case. It didn't have any really direct evidence.
A particularly difficult case to try. However, Long says he believes his defense was given every opportunity.
I remember telling John that he will do everything in his power to give us a fair trial, but I will tell you, if he convicts you, he will send you to the electric chair. He always maintained his innocence.
Nearly a month after being found guilty, Judge Edward Campbell sentenced John Matthew Stevenson to death row.
I believe that was a correct sentence and just a horrible type crime that needed to be solved, and fortunately we got that job done.
Of all the cases that I've had, and particularly homicide cases, and I've been on both sides of them, I never knew myself what really happened.
In 2009, that conviction was overturned and listed as, quote, pending new jury penalty phase. And for 16 years, Stevenson sat in prison. That was until he died from a heart attack. A final closing to the case that changed lives forever.
That's the only death penalty case I'd ever had as an investigator. Just all the emotion and feeling from their families, and such a loss is just a lot to remember.
It was a case to be remembered, and I guess the chapter's now closed for good.
Again, John Matthew Stevenson died last week of natural causes while awaiting a new trial. While on the phone with investigator Heilman today, he offered condolences for the families of those victims as the case is brought to light once again. Rob.